The UK government has proposed the biggest shake-up to ILR rules in decades. Number one, the standard 5-year ILR route could increase to 5 years. Number two, some categories may face 15 or even 20 years before settlement. Number three, dependents may need to meet their own separate requirements. Number four, and compliance mistakes. Even small ones could mean starting your clock all over again. Although nothing has changed yet, the consultation is still open. Anyone who is on their pathway to settlement must be extremely careful with how they prepare for ILR. And that's exactly why this episode is so important. Today I've invited back Amil from Mac25, one of the most trusted experts in UK immigration and compliance, to help you understand the top 5 things you must get right before applying for ILR. In this episode, we are going to break down number 1, what you should check first before starting your ILR process. Number 2, the most common mistakes people make with a 5-year continuous residency rule. Number 3, why your payslips, employer history, and HR compliance matter more than you think. Number 4, who actually needs the life in the UK test and who is exempt. Number 5, the exact documents you must prepare like payslips, bank statements, tax records, cost history, etc. Number 6, how visa gaps, overstaying, switching visas, or dependent absences affect ILR. Number 7, SETO versus SETM. What's the difference and which one applies to you? Number 8, whether you should be worried about the proposed move from 5 years to 10 years. If you're planning to apply for ILR in the next couple of months, or even if your visa is years away from expiry, you cannot afford to miss this episode. One mistake can delay your settlement or worse, reset your ILR clock completely. So stay tuned, watch this episode until the end, and let's break down everything you need to know clearly, simply, and correctly with expert guidance from Amil. Hi Amil, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy, and if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself to my audience?
Hi Sarika, this is the old Mohammad Amil from Mac25 London.
Still young,
yeah. An ex-international student, happy to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Having an immigration law firm based in Canary Wharf, London, and helping all your audiences.
Awesome, thank you. A different introduction, right? Okay, we like it. So today's topic is all about ILR. We'll get to know the reason why I'm making this topic, because some of the people have approached me, they're making some mistakes, even though we had covered about ILR a few months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But today I would like to put a focus on top 5 main things that people should keep in mind before applying ILR.
Yes.
So considering that topic, I have written down few questions for you and we'll go through it one by one. So starting with ILR eligibility. So what is the first thing that people should remember before even applying for ILR?
See, when we talk about the ILR, it's a broad topic. Indefinite leave to remain is something because it applies to different sectors. There are many visa categories in the UK which leads to settlement, but there are many which do not. So I think this would be my request to the audience that whatever we are going to discuss is the generic approach, and it wouldn't fit them all. So starting with the eligibility you said, I think the first and the foremost, you need to understand whether your category lead to settlement or not.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, there are so many people who think, there's one state in India, I think we discussed the last time, I won't name it, but they said 2 years of student visa, 2 years of PSW graduate route, and 1 year of skilled worker, which leads to settlement.
Yes.
And that's not true.
Correct.
Literally, I have got many people in my office who come and say, oh, it's not true. Oh, I thought I'm eligible for ILR next year.
Yeah.
So I think the number one point should be, see whether you are eligible or not.
Yeah.
Point number 2. Continuous residence.
Yeah.
So in continuous residence, what we need to understand that skilled worker visa, spouse visa, it take you 5 years to qualify for ILR. So make sure your category, you know about that innovator founder route, it leads within 3 years. In some instances, global talent visa as well. So make sure that you understand that whatever route you are on to, it leads to settlement within 5 years or 3 years, that amount of time.
Yeah.
English language. I think you need to understand that in English language, you need to have at least B1 language requirement. And the most important thing is, I think life in the UK is very intriguing for me, because life in the UK is the test which people fails more often, because the passing percentage is about 75%.
Yeah, it is, but it's not that tough. If you go through the list of the questions or you practice it, you can pass for the first time.
Yeah, but I still remember somebody gave it for 7 times.
Oh my God.
And they got it the 8th time, right?
Oh dear, okay.
Yeah. And the last one, make sure you're a good character. Good character.
Okay, great. And just wanted to add here one thing. So there's another visa category which is called as Global Mobility Visa, I believe. The
Global
old
mobility,
name was
yeah.
intra-company transfer.
Right.
So I have few people as well in my audience who came as an intra-company transfer visa. So they reached out to me saying they have spent 5 years in the UK. Can they apply for ILR? So actually they are not allowed because that visa category doesn't allow you to settle in the UK.
That doesn't lead to settlement.
Yeah,
That's right.
and what you already pointed out about students. So student visa, if you're here for 2 years, and your graduate visa, that is not counted towards your 5 years continuous period. If you apply for 10 years continuous period for ILR, then it will be counted. Otherwise, not under 5 years.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. So, Amil, moving to the next one. What mistakes do people make with the 5-year continuous residency requirement? I mean, we talked about 180 days limit in our previous video.
Yeah.
What are the other things you have seen people making mistakes?
I think absence would be number one, as we discussed the last time. But in absence is also what they need to understand, that it's not a calendar year from January to December.
Correct.
What people think within January to December, if I'm staying outside of the UK for 180 days and they think they're following the rules, it could be any 12-month rolling period. So Home Office can put the map on any calendar within 5 years, and that could be impacted. I think that's number one mistake. Number two, what they need to understand, the rules and the regulations, whatever is happening. Sometimes if they are on a skilled worker visa, the employer license gets revoked or suspended. That is under the question. So they need to understand they are not just in the rat race working, and they are not aware about what is happening with the sponsor as well. So I think in regards to skilled worker, any other visa category you are into at this point of time, you need to know what are the new rules. Every 6 months, every 3 months now, I think every month the guidance is getting updated.
Yeah, true.
So you need to keep up with that.
Yeah.
That is the worst mistake I would say anybody ever makes. They are never up with the trend. They are never up with the updates. So keep up with the updates.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that I have observed, again, because people are reaching out to me, not too many people still are aware that if you are, say, the main applicant, and then in between you switch the visa category, you become a dependent.
Yeah.
And then they try to ask, now we are legally here in the UK in a legal visa category, like say first on the main applicant, but now as a dependent, and they think they are eligible for ILR, but they are not.
That's
actually
true.
that is the another thing which I have seen people.
Yeah, the clock resets.
Yeah, it resets.
Yeah.
So that's a big shock for them. They did not realize. One thing that I want to ask, is there any impact on the, say, couple is applying for ILR, they both were on, say, skill visa and dependent skill visa, and skill visa person, the main applicant, had some absences, like more than 180 days or something. However, the dependent did not have that absences. And if the main applicant and the dependent applied together, because the main applicant had a fault or of 180 days, will the dependent also get impacted with that?
So what we need to understand, Sarika, when you look at the guidance and when you look at the actual immigration rules, dependent actually means you're tied to the main applicant.
Yeah.
So whatever would happen to the main applicant,
So even that.
because your ILR is dependent whether that individual is going to get the ILR or not.
Okay.
So you need to be very sure, and I think maybe in the follow-up questions we are going to ask about the dependents as well. So that's the reason I'm saving myself.
Oh, okay.
But yes, dependent visa is 100% tied to the main applicant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got my answer, but let's discuss more. Moving to the next one. How important are payslips, employment history, and employer compliance for ILR?
Very important. Very important. Because let's say, because we do a lot of ILR application from skilled worker visa, and I think a couple of days back only one of our client got it. Number one thing what you need to understand, that your payslip and bank statement needs to be aligned very well. So let's say if you're submitting a payslip to the Home Office showing that you're getting £3,000 as a salary, that £3,000 needs to be aligned on your bank statements as well.
Yeah.
So when you submit payslip, bank statement, and I think one of the most important document people miss is the P60s. So for the last 5 years, you need to get the P60s as well from your sponsor, and that would be an important aspect of your ILR application as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember about P60, whether I did or not. Maybe I did it, but don't remember.
We are updated now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time now when I submitted those documents. Okay, thank you, Amil. Moving to the next one, which is about what should people know about life in the UK test and English test requirement?
So life in the UK, as we discussed, you need to have 75% in order to pass the test. So out of 25 marks, you need to get 18.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 80?
Yeah, it is 18. It is
Okay.
18, yes.
Yeah.
And there are certain criteria you would be exempted if you are under 18 or if you are over 65,
Uh-huh.
or God forbid you are suffering from a mental disability or any kind of serious illness that is exempted for the life in the UK test. And the same exact thing goes for the English language requirement as well. Right now, the requirement is B1 level of CFR.
Okay.
So, and the same requirement goes for the English language as well, from 18 to 64 years of old. If you
Okay.
are within that criteria, then you need to have the B1 level.
Okay.
And you are exempted if you have got serious illness, if you have got a learning disability or any kind of disability,
Okay.
or you have got a degree in the UK.
All right. Like either bachelor's, master's, PhD,
Yeah, exactly,
anything. Yeah?
exactly.
Yeah.
Along with UK NARIC and ACTUS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But not someone who did a diploma which is 6 months. It needs to be 1 year and above, right?
No short-term courses. No.
Yeah. Okay. Regarding life in the UK test, just want to let my audience know. I prepared through some website and I also watched some YouTube video. If at all I have saved in my favorites, I'm going to link it in the description if you guys want to
Yeah.
go and check it out. But again, for the first time when you will see those questions, you may say, oh my God, what is this? Yeah, it's complete history about the United Kingdom. If you ask the local people, I have watched some videos, they said, we don't know about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they won't be able to.
That's
but
true.
because we are immigrants, we have to pass the exam, you have to know the history.
Yeah.
But I think both Adi and I, we did for 1 week, we prepared for 1 week questions and answers, and we
Yeah.
both managed to pass the exam for the first time, to be
Bingo.
honest. So I'm going to share those links. If at all you find it useful, of course, make sure you use it, and all the best for people who are applying for the ILR. Okay. Thank you, Amil, so far. Moving to the next one. So let's talk about the financial documents that applicants need to prepare. Of course, we talked about, like you said, bank statements,
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
slips.
yeah,
What
yeah.
are the other things are needed?
I think there are people, let's say if you're talking about self-sponsorship as well, people have the dividend vouchers. They are the, owner of their own company as well. So they need to understand, they need to submit the self-assessment tax returns.
Okay.
They need to do the dividend vouchers as well. So all those documents are required as well as far as the financials are concerned, because people obviously forget that it's not just about the pay slips, because people are coming from different routes like spouse visas and global talent innovator founder. So make sure these documents are properly aligned as well as compared to the pay slips as well.
So if I have to divide, say, someone who is an entrepreneur versus someone who is employed, so there's a different documents then. So someone who's employed by a company, then like
Yeah.
you mentioned, payslip, bank
And bank
statement,
statements.
P60 as well you
Yeah.
mentioned, that should be more than enough in terms
Right.
of financial documents.
Right.
But for entrepreneurs, extra is the self-assessment and dividend.
Self-assessment, dividend vouchers, along if you're paying yourself as a salary. So all these things will be taken into consideration as well.
And then, of course, in P60, everything same.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
additional.
it's more
Okay.
and more or less the same. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, moving to the next question, which is about how do visa gaps or overstaying affect ILR applications?
If you see the November 2025 guidance, even 1 day of gap or 1 day of overstaying can lapse it.
Even 1 day.
Even 1 day of lapse.
What about the time when people were stuck, say, due to serious illness,
Yeah.
or COVID time was exceptional?
Yeah. So there are exemptions in the guidance as well,
Yeah.
which includes maybe bereavement of a family member,
Yeah.
serious illness, sometimes related to your maternity, anything related like pandemic we had in the past. So anything related to these issues, and you can actually justify to the Home Office, I think it becomes much more easier as far as your application is concerned. But you need to have serious and compelling reasons. This is what the guidance exactly says.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amil. So yes, let's talk about Dependents ILR.
Amazing, yes.
So we talked about briefly in the introduction.
Yeah.
What else do you have to cover, like Dependents ILR rules? Is it different? What should families consider before applying?
I think, as I said in the beginning, dependent ILR is also a broad topic, but just for our audience to understand the glimpse of that, what people does, I think recently also I have few clients where the main applicant apply for a skilled worker visa and they leave their wife on PSW dependent, graduate dependent, and they said maybe because of the money issues they
Yeah.
need some time to cover the IHS and stuff like that. But they need to make sure if they do not apply together, let's say the wife applies after 6 months, she won't be able to cover the 5 years at that point of time. So whatever time has left to complete the 5 years, she needs to apply for another dependent visa. She needs to pay the IHS and the visa application fee, so that she completes her 5 years. So now I tell my clients, let's say if you have got the COS, you get 3 months of time to apply for the, unless and until it's not urgent for the sponsor, apply it together, maybe wait for some point of time and apply for the skilled worker visa together. So whenever the 5 years happens, both of you will get the ILR at the same time, rather than after 5 years or 4.5 years, whatever time is left, you again need to pay the home office visa, and God knows how much the IHS is there at that point of time. So
Okay, I didn't know. And in terms of document, if just say they are applying differently, they're not applying for the same time.
Right.
So say the dependent is trying to apply based on husband's ILR, which is already granted.
Right.
Then what documents wife or say partner needs to submit?
The number one documentations need to show the genuineness of the relationship, whether the relationship is still intact or not. Because the home office wants to see the documentations like bank statements, council tax, or maybe utility bills. It is very similar to spouse visa, but we are talking about ILR here. So the number one point home office wants to see whether the the relationship is still genuine and subsisting between both the parties. So that would be number one. Number two, obviously you need to put down the details of your main applicant, that they have been received the ILR e-visa copy and all those things. I think it's very generic when it comes to the dependent visa. As I said, it tied to the main applicant. You don't need to provide any financial documents, because all those things are already done in the previous visa application. But the relationship documents are must. Let's say if you have got a child, you can put your birth certificate of your child. So that adds a lot. And I think the NHS documentations, which is affiliated with the government, I think that makes the application much more stronger.
Okay, moving to the next question, Amil. How long should someone start preparing before their ILR expiry date?
Before I used to say, Sarika, at least 3 to 4 months, but now I suggest at least 8 to 12 months.
Why?
See, what you need to understand, I'll give you a practical example. One of my client, where the sponsor was not giving them the payslips. They were not getting the payslip. The employer completely said no for the employment letter as well when it comes for the ILR, and the salary requirements as well, because the salary requirements keeps on updating. So I tell all my clients, you need to be very much sure that what kind of category you're into, what kind of exact documentations you need, and then you need to get ready with all the documentations in place. Some of the couples as well, as they do not have any genuine relationship documents as well. Maybe they don't travel, maybe they don't have utility bills on together on the same name, not the bank statements. So I tell them, you need to prepare, you need to see what salary band you are into, whether you're paying right amount of taxes. One of our client recently got penalties for speed driving. So they don't take those things into consideration as well. Even not paying the TV license, they have costed one of the license.
Oh dear.
So I think it's very important to make sure all the things align and you are well prepared when you go ahead before you apply for the ILR.
I have a question regarding the payslip. So the payslip needs to be submitted for the last 3 months, 6 months, or 5 years?
6 months.
6 months.
So we submit 6 months normally. Yeah.
Okay. And bank statement also
Same,
6 months.
Same.
So 6 months for everything.
Exactly.
Actually.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. What if somebody had switched their employer? Say I worked for employer 1 and then after 2 years I moved to employer 2 and at the time of applying my ILR, do I need to go back to my employer 1 for anything like the absences record or something? Because absences record need to be submitted as well for 5 years.
Yeah. See, at the end of the day, the absences record would be your personal records.
Yeah.
So if you would be taking absences, maybe you're taking trip abroad or maybe you're going back home. From initial stage, you're going to make notes that from what point of time you have exited the country and entered the UK again. So those are going to be a personal record that is not related to your ex-sponsor. The only thing what you need to remember, even if you change sponsors, still you will be qualifying for after the 5 years of time on a skilled worker visa. You need to make sure you have got all the, let's say I have seen one client that they have changed the sponsor within the last 6 months of applying for the ILR. So you need to have payslip, last 3 months payslip for your old sponsor as well, and the new payslip with your current sponsor as well. So it is very important to make sure all these records are intact, because home office can contact you anytime and ask you for any sort of documentations.
True. I want to understand the difference between form, set 0 O versus set M.
Yeah.
Because I remember people are using incorrect forms while applying for
Yes,
ILR, because
yes.
I did it on my own. I remember I was confused as well, but I don't remember what I read now.
Yeah.
Can you maybe quickly explain
Yeah.
to my audience what
Yeah.
is set O versus set M and when it should be used?
Yeah. So set M and set O, it's settlement M and it's settlement O. Settlement M form is used when you're applying from a spouse visa, and settlement O is for the people who are applying for a skilled worker visa, global talent or innovator founder route. Yeah.
Okay, that
That's
is
the
what it
difference.
means.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of common reasons for ILR applications being rejected or delayed,
Mm-hmm.
like you already briefly touched upon, maybe using the incorrect form or
Yeah,
not
yeah.
submitting enough documents.
Yeah.
What are the things you can think of more?
Before the number one thing was absences,
Yeah.
but I think now the number one thing is the people are failing to disclose their information in the ILR form.
Oh, really?
Two things. One of our client actually got 10-year ban.
Why?
He failed to refuse the parking ticket, not the parking ticket. I think he was traveling without a ticket into a rail, and he failed to disclose that. He was called into a court, and he was fined about 420 or 500 pounds something, and he failed to disclose that, and he actually got a 10-year ban.
Oh my God! So you got
That's-
to disclose that as well in ILR.
Yeah. It just happened, I think, a couple of weeks back.
Oh my God! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one client I remember, they came to us after the, all the issues happened. They failed to disclose the visit visa refusal they had from USA.
Okay, and that can be the reason for ILR refusal if you don't disclose that your tourist visa was-
Exactly. Because in ILR form, they ask you about your travel history and your immigration history as well. And Home Office explicitly ask in the form about your last 10 years or 5 years of travel. If you have got any immigration issues in these specific countries, you need to mention them. And I'm more concerned about that. Yes, nowadays it's very easier for people to get, penalties and this maybe not traveling without ticket, which is completely wrong. So whatever has happened, you have paid the fine, you have been maybe convicted or acquitted by the court, whatever it is, disclose it, whatever has happened.
Okay, I mean, just one thing. So because you're talking about so detailed, parking tickets, people get parking tickets as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So that needs to be also disclosed?
See, parking tickets are very basics, but if now I was you, I would have disclosed it.
Yeah.
If I was you,
okay.
I would have definitely done that. See, those are very basic
Parking,
things.
speeding,
Smoking.
smoking.
Nowadays, you are getting, tickets for smoking and throwing the birds on the road as well.
Smoking while driving or smoking while walking as well?
Smoking while walking. And I know a client who got 3 times this fine for 150 pounds.
Oh my God.
And we have recently disclosed it. See, it's not a very big thing. I know some people would say it's a very basic thing, but
Just disclose it.
then disclose it. It's not a very big thing, but why not?
Okay. Anything else that they need to disclose other than this?
Don't do anything wrong. As I said, good character in the beginning for ILR.
Good character, yes. Okay. Thank you, Amil. We talked a lot about ILR. I hope this is going to help a lot of people and avoid the rejections or refusals that they're getting, or even your applications. I know guys are saying it's being delayed. Why is it taking so much time?
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
can be the reasons, where they're verifying the information.
Yeah, true.
Your any final tips before we wrap up today's video?
I think before you apply for ILR, as we briefly discussed, that you need to be prepared at least 6 months before. You need to make sure you have got all the documentations in place. Whatever situation you are into, or whatever maybe the parking tickets you have got, or a cigarette butt fine, or any small, or maybe you are going to the hospital for maternity, just disclose it to the Home Office. Do not think that this information is too small for my ILR application. So nothing is very small, because you have spent 5-10 years of your life in this country. So I'll just request it, whatever has happened, good, bad, ugly, just put it down, and better safe than sorry.
Yes, that's true. Thank you very much, Amil. Thank you for coming and recording this video. We covered a lot and hoping this is going to help all my audience as well.
Thank you so much, Saria. Thank you.
Thank you.